Blue Jays Nation, you're not going to believe what just dropped that has the entire baseball world in complete chaos. Breaking news today has the entire AL East shaking. Los Angeles Dodgers are making a massive $427 million play for Kyle Tucker that could completely flip the balance of power in baseball. But here's the kicker. What does this bombshell mean for our Jays and our own shot at landing elite talent? Blue Jays Nation, can you believe this could reshape everything? If you're a true fan of the Blue Jays who bleeds blue and white like I do, you won't want to miss a second of today's breakdown. Smash that like button, drop your hottest take in the comments, and hit subscribe because we're diving deep into how this seismic shift affects our playoff dreams. Let's get real about where we stand right now, Jays Nation. Our boys have been grinding through this season with a rotation that's been shakier than a CN Tower elevator in a windstorm. We're sitting in a battle royale with those pinstripe-wearing Yankees, the cursed Red Sox, and don't even get me started on those upstart Orioles making noise in our division. The Rogers Center faithful have been showing up game after game, but we've been stuck watching inconsistent offensive stretches that have us all pulling our hair out. Our pitching staff ERA has been floating around numbers that make us nostalgic for those dominant Roy Halladay days. And let's be honest, we've been depending way too heavily on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to carry this entire lineup on his broad shoulders. The kid's been absolutely crushing it, but even Superman needs a supporting cast. Meanwhile, teams like the Dodgers are out here throwing around $400 plus million like it's monopoly money, and we're sitting here wondering if Rogers Communications is ready to open those deep pockets for a championship run. Now here's where things get spicy, folks. Word from MLB insiders, including the always reliable Shi Davidi over at Sportsnet, is that this Kyle Tucker mega deal isn't just about the Dodgers flexing their financial muscles. This move sends shockwaves through every front office, especially ours here in Toronto. We're talking about a four-time All-Star who just put up a .266 average with 22 bombs and an OBP of 377 inches, 136 games. That's the kind of production that makes general managers wake up in cold sweats. But wait, there's a twist coming that nobody saw coming. The ripple effects of this potential signing could actually work in our favor. Think about it. If the Dodgers are throwing nearly $500 million at Tucker, that's one less team competing for other elite talent that might actually fit our budget and timeline. Suddenly, players like Cody Bellinger, who we've been quietly eyeing, or even some of those premium pitching arms on the market, become more realistic targets. The problems plaguing our squad right now feel eerily familiar to those rebuilding years we all want to forget. Remember when we were trotting out lineups that made us question our life choices as Blue Jays fans? We're not quite there, but the inconsistency is giving me flashbacks. Our bullpen has been more unpredictable than Toronto weather in April, and don't even mention our struggles against left-handed pitching. It's been painful to watch from the 500 level. Here's what's really eating at me, and I know y'all feel it too. We've got this incredible fan base that deserves better than watching other teams make headline-grabbing moves while we're sitting on the sidelines. The passion at Rogers Center during those weekend series against the Yankees proves we're ready to support a championship-caliber team, but management needs to match that energy with some serious investment. According to sources close to the organization, there's been serious discussions about making a splash before the next trade deadline. Names being whispered in the Scotia Plaza elevators include potential moves for starting pitching depth and that missing piece in our outfield that could complement Bo Bichette and Vlad Jr. perfectly. The front office knows this fan base is hungry for October baseball, and they're feeling the pressure to deliver. But here's the kicker that changes everything. The Dodgers going all in on Tucker actually creates opportunities for teams like us who are willing to be strategic rather than reckless. While LA is tying up nearly $500 million in one player, smart organizations can target multiple impact players for the same price tag. That's how you build sustainable contenders, rather than top-heavy rosters that crumble when injuries hit. Before we continue breaking down how this affects our championship window, smash that like if you believe the Blue Jays can still make noise in this AL East arms race. Your support keeps this channel going and shows other teams that Jays Nation is the loudest fan base in baseball. Let's dive into the tactical implications that have me both worried and excited about our future. If Kyle Tucker lands in Dodger blue, That's one less premium outfielder available for teams looking to upgrade. But here's where John Schneider's tactical adjustments become crucial. Our skipper has been experimenting with different lineup configurations, trying to find that perfect combination that maximizes our offensive potential while covering up our defensive weaknesses. The roster construction implications are massive, folks. Tucker's defensive versatility. He can handle right field like a Gold Glover while providing legitimate power from both sides of the plate is exactly what contending teams covet. His plate discipline, evidenced by that 377 on-base percentage, represents the kind of professional at-bat approach our young hitters could learn from. We're talking about a player who makes pitchers work, extends innings, and creates opportunities for the guys behind him. Now, here's where the plot thickens. And this is information you won't hear anywhere else. Sources within the organization suggest that if the Tucker deal goes through as expected, it could accelerate our own timeline for making aggressive moves. The front office realizes that standing pat while division rivals and West Coast powerhouses upgrade aggressively is a recipe for mediocrity. Expect some serious conversations about short-term payroll flexibility and long-term competitive windows. The scenarios playing out over the next few weeks could define our next 5 years. Blue Jays Nation. Optimistic outlook. We use the Tucker signing as motivation to make our own splash, potentially targeting complementary pieces that fit our championship timeline. We're talking about players who can contribute immediately while still having team control beyond this season. Think impact starting pitching or that missing middle-of-the-order bat that takes pressure off Vladimir. Conservative approach means we continue developing our farm system while making strategic, lower-risk additions around the margins. That's not necessarily wrong, but it might mean watching other teams surge ahead while we're still building. The upcoming homestand against AL East rivals will tell us a lot about which direction management wants to lean. Key dates are circled on every calendar in the front office. The trade deadline is obviously huge, but there are other inflection points coming up. Player option decisions, arbitration timelines, and international signing periods all factor into how aggressively we can pursue impact talent. If Tucker signs that $427 million extension, it changes the entire landscape of available players and budget allocations across the league. The next few home games at Rogers Center become absolutely critical for evaluating what we have and what we need. Facing divisional rivals in front of our incredible fan base provides the perfect laboratory for testing different lineup constructions and pitching rotations. These aren't just games, they're auditions for players trying to prove they deserve roster spots on a contending team. Here's my bottom line prediction, and I want to hear yours in the comments below. The Kyle Tucker mega deal, whether it happens or not, represents a watershed moment for MLB spending and competitive balance. Teams like the Blue Jays, with passionate fan bases and solid organizational foundations, have a choice. Match the big market aggression or get left behind watching other teams celebrate championships. Blue Jays Nation, we've been through rebuilding cycles, we've celebrated division titles, and we've suffered through disappointing seasons. But this feels different. The pieces are there, the fan base is engaged, and the organizational commitment seems stronger than it's been in years. The question isn't whether we can compete, it's whether we're willing to take the risks necessary to win. So here's my challenge to everyone rocking blue and white. Who do you want to see in a Blue Jays uniform this season? Are we targeting starting pitching depth, offensive firepower, or defensive upgrades? Drop your dream acquisitions in the comments. Share this video with every Jays fan you know, and let's show the baseball world that Toronto is ready for another championship run. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be covering every move, every rumor, and every game that brings us closer to October baseball. The Kyle Tucker sweepstakes might be ending in Los Angeles, but our championship window is just getting started. Let's make some noise, Jays Nation.